Welcome. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining us to meet the guides. Let us begin as we always do by putting our right hand on our heart and our left hand on our right. And take a moment to feel that stillness in the very center. As we allow the breath to come pouring down from above through our crown, this golden, beautiful golden energy of nectar. The nectar of the gods pouring down into our very hearts through a column of light, filling us with that stillness, with that peace, with that sense of knowing that we are right here, right where we belong, in the very center of our hearts, connecting down to Mother Earth, feeling her beneath us, and pouring down our love and the light and gold from above, all the way down to the roots, to the core of Mother Earth. She provides us with everything. She never holds back. Every single element that makes up this body, between her and the stardust from above, all come back to the heart, ignited by that divine spark of divine fire, to allow us to be here fully present as souls inhabiting this body-mind, these emotions, this human frame. The great gift from Creator, that we can have this incredible gift of free will, the ability to choose, the ability to know, to recognize that we are the living spirit that is in all things. And we are all things, both at the same time. So as we feel that stillness pouring in, and as we breathe out, we let go of all our concerns, all that weight on our shoulders, all that strain on the back from the moving, the carrying, and the doing. And we settle into that stillness, into that gratitude, in the very center of our hearts, for all the beings of light that surround us, that love us, that watch over us and guide us. For we have always been connected to our star brothers and sisters, and to all those divine energies that we call the angels or the guides, that love us so unconditionally, and that are guiding our every step at this time in our evolution and in the evolution of Mother Earth. And so as we give thanks, we can rest our hands and begin to feel the threads of our hearts reaching out and weaving together in a beautiful fabric. And we send this light, this love that is filling us out into the world to touch the hearts of all those who suffer, all those who dwell in darkness, all those who are afraid, those who do not trust, those who believe what they are told and have not come to that place of their own self-authority, where they are able to distinguish, to discern, to find their own truth, to feel their own guidance, and to know that they know, and that they can trust their hearts. And so we send every iota of light that we can to touch these hearts. We send it into the dark places to bring some love and illumination and awakening. For Mother Earth is ready for a great shift, as are we, as are the many light workers who are waking up to their true mission in life, to bring that light in and to radiate it out, to recognize and remember that they are God's love in expression, to understand that what that means. To be God's love means you can stop judging yourself. It means you can stop worrying. It means you can open your heart and feel safe, knowing that you will always be guided to be in the right place at the right time and make the right choices for your own good and for the good of the whole. For whatever is for the good of the whole is for your good. And whatever is for your good is also for the whole. Because you are all connected. We are all connected. There is no great distinction between those of us in the guidance realms and those within the nitty-gritty day life of Mother Earth, of doing, of living, of driving, of washing dishes, planting seeds, sleeping. It is a fine place of union that allows the heaven and the earth within to come together. The flesh and blood and the divine aspect of angelic to all merge together into a oneness within each person and between and among the many each persons and the great whole. For everything you do, every thought you think, every intention and choice and decision ripples out and affects every other being, every other energy. And this is why we encourage you to hold positive thoughts, to take positive actions, and to remember that you are light, and that you are love, and that you have come here to demonstrate that at this time especially. You have come here to be the light. You have come here to show what it is like to have peace in your heart instead of war, to have cooperation and not competition. You have come here to bring a smile, a warm touch, a warm glow, to bring your true warm nature of an open heart into every single situation where you find yourself, to bring that smile will change somebody's life. You may not know it. Each time you go into your practice, your meditations, your yogas and your dance and your swimming and your walking. Every time you send out light and love to someone you know, someone who may be having a hard time, someone who may be ill or nursing an ill elder or family member, and you send them some of that light, some of those prayers for healing, for awakening, for greater comfort from the pain, for relief from the worry and the fear. Each thought directed for the benefit of anyone or anything will ripple out through this amazing quantum field that is initiated from the center of your heart and ripples out into all time and into all space. And so you can heal your ancestors. You can heal your past wounds. You can heal your future wounds. You can bring together the past and the future into the now moment. And when you are in the now moment and you bring in the love and the light, you are healing everything. For that moment is all there is. The past is a story, and the future is a projection. When you project negativity by worrying, you create a reality that is full of that negativity. When you send brightness and hope and trust into the future, you are sending forth, opening the way. You are dusting the brick road for you to walk upon, to take you to that magical world of Oz, or wherever it be, the great paradise, the great community of the future that you are building with everyone whose hearts are open and on the same page. Everyone who knows that they are here to bring light, to bring love, and to create harmony and peace through their thoughts, their actions, their intentions, through their prayers, and through the visions that they hold in their mind of what the world can look like, and of the actions they take to ensure that the world will look like their vision, and that their vision is always one of peace, one of light, one of cooperation, and one of plenty, one of more than enough for yourself, more than enough for everyone. Because it is time to ensure that everyone is taken care of. It is time to consider the elderly, the handicapped ones, those who are not able to move as freely, those who are without shelter, those upon the street corners that have to stand in the cold or in the heat just to get enough for a cover over their heads or food. Those children who live without hope, who live without love. Hold these all in your heart, and if you can, do something. Whether it be to give $1 on the street, whether it be to contribute to organizations that are helping, whatever it is, whether it is even just to send out your call to all the angelic realms to assist these unfortunate ones. Whatever you do is a ripple in the great pond of life, rippling out to touch all of the shorelines. however big and broad that pond or that lake may be. For each action is carried on the ethers and is recorded in the Akashic records. And so when you go into the woods, when you go to the trees, you go to the birds, the streams, when you go into the quiet and the beauty and the stillness of nature, you are enhancing your own ability to tune in to the nature of who you are as one with all of life. For none of you would ever even consider harming another life form if you could but help it. You would not take a life if you could help it. There perhaps would be a time when it may be necessary for your survival. But you would have a natural tendency to never want to harm another, whether it be through a word or thought or deed or an action. You would even want to forgive everyone you possibly can. You would want to stop any judgment of anyone, because this is the way of the peaceful warrior. This is the way of one who has a practice that is tuned in and connected to the benefit of all life. This is a reflection of your true heart. This is how you have come to become light workers. You have transformed yourselves to this place where you could not harm another, certainly not willingly. It is a basic requirement for the new earth that you establish a foundation of do no harm, of that which is called in Lakech. You are another I, and I am another you. The namaste, that recognition that each one is like you, in spite of and thanks to all of the differences, because they create the diversity, the multiplicity that creates the magic of life on earth. If it were not for the diversity, life would be pretty dull. And so when you give thanks for the fact that another has a different view, a different idea of how to do things, or has a different feeling about things, has a different attitude or approach, you give thanks for the fact that there are so many different ways of being. And each one learns from the other, and each one teaches, and each one gets to try something new, something different. Perhaps it is time to try something you never even thought you could do. Perhaps you will have fun. We would like that. We would love for you to have fun as you explore all the many possibilities and opportunities. And the opportunities will show up at your door. They will come knocking and say, you haven't seen me yet. You have not heard from me. It is time for us to meet. Perhaps you need to pull out your easel and pull out your canvas and begin to sketch and draw. Or perhaps it is time to join the local club and go swimming. Or perhaps it is time to join the yoga class, or to go dance, or to do something you've always thought, oh, I would love to do that. Yeah, but you get lazy, or you think you can't. You judge yourself. And then one day you do it. Or a friend says, come on, let's go. I want to try this place. I haven't eaten here before. And you find that you have an array of delicious foods from a country you'd never even heard of. And that you are exploring new tastes. And your taste buds like what you taste. And so there is more and more richness to your life as you expose yourself to the great diversity that Mother Earth offers, that all the many life forms and lifetimes and different paths bring to you. And so we are encouraging you to open your minds as well as open your hearts. And in the process, for you to consider, what might I do? What might I do that I can do with others that will bring closer to reality this new earth that everyone is talking about? This world of cooperation, this world in which no one has to suffer, this world in which the very thought of war is so completely unthinkable that when your children ask you and you answer them that there was a war, and they'll say, what is that? How can anyone harm another? For they will have grown up in a field of love, in a field of protection. They will grow up sitting upon your lap, listening to the stories you tell them. They will grow up knowing how beautiful they are, how innocent, and how perfect they are, just the way they are. No matter what color hair, or whether they have freckles, or whether they have some impairment. For you will love them, and that is all they need to grow strong, to feel that love. For you shine it upon all, unconditionally, without judging, just as the sun does, shining upon all. The sun does not decide that one person should not have their warmth or their light. And those who cannot bear to be in the light will scurry into the darkness until they are ready. For each one must come to the time and place of their own readiness. For if you are not ready and you are given a task, you will not be able to accomplish it. And not everyone will choose to embrace light and spread it around. Not everyone will see and find that silver lining. Not everyone will understand that this is just a phase, that this too shall pass. And in fact, that this is a preparation for a much higher level of being, a higher vibration that matches the vibration of the new earth. What is called ascension? Ascension. What is ascension? It just means to rise in vibration. You're not going to go flying up into the air quite yet. And yet there may be a time when you will choose to show up somewhere else upon the planet, just like that. For there is nothing that is impossible when your vibration is raised high enough to that level of multi-dimensionality, where you are indeed able to bilocate, where you are able to call Scotty and say, beam me aboard, Scotty. And there you go. And you will show up in that beautiful field with all the beautiful colors, smells of flowers, and the creatures, and the peace, the stillness. And you will know because you will feel that you've earned this joy. You will have earned every single delightful moment of living in peace, of living in deep satisfaction, knowing that you always did your best, that you always helped wherever you could. You did not help to gain something, but you helped out of the goodness of your heart and from compassion for the suffering of another. And you were also able to discriminate and know when it was the right thing to do and when you needed to step back and let that person find a way to help themselves. And as you grow in your soul growth, as you grow in consciousness, as your vibration ascends, as it rises and expands, you automatically always know exactly what to do, what to say, and what not to do or say. You tune in to your intuition, and your body will tell you, no, don't go there. Don't take that trip. Don't go into that building or neighborhood. And when you listen, you will be grateful. Perhaps you'll find out why, and perhaps you won't. But wherever you go, there will be blossoms at your feet. There was once a sage, an old sage in China. He would visit from village to village, and he would sit beneath the tree. And the little ones would see him coming, and they would say, there's the old sage, he has come. And the whole village would come, and they would gather around him, and they would ask their questions, and they would ask for his guidance and his wisdom, perhaps about the planting, or perhaps about the weather and the harvest, or perhaps there might be some dispute, and they would ask him to please give advice so that the village could return back to harmony. And the sage would be brought a bowl of rice and some cooked vegetables, and he would eat and enjoy and drink the water that was brought to him. And he would give their message. And he would perhaps stay for a day. He would sleep under the tree. And he would be fed and looked after by the village. And then he would leave and head for another village. And as he would walk away from the village, everyone would look and remark, because where his feet had just stepped, flowers would pop through the earth, and there would be a trail of blossoms, of flowers that followed him. But he never saw them. He never turned back to look. He never knew that wherever he had been, the earth was blossoming behind him in deep gratitude for the vibration that he brought of so much love. And so perhaps that is your task, to be like the old sage who never knows what the ripples are that go out from his good thoughts and good deeds, because he never gets to look back. He never bothers to look back. He is always there in that moment, in every step. And after he takes another step and another step, eventually he comes to the next village. And so perhaps that would be your way in the world of doing good deeds just for the joy as an expression of who you are. For you will always have enough. You will always be protected when you live your life with your heart open, when your mind is open and empty, so that it can be fed and filled with beauty, with love and light, and that gold that we began our session with, that gold that pours down from above, from your connection to your ancestors and the star beings, that place within your memory, hidden somewhere perhaps, of your true home as a being of light, as one who chose to come to this planet to help, to be a part of the resurrection, of the transformation of this poor earth, not earth as a poor being, but civilization and humanity as having been so much in the dark, as having been so restricted and limited in their way of seeing the reality of love through very, very narrow lenses, so that they can only see what is right in front of them in a very small bandwidth. And so you understand that you have come here. You have come here to be a seed, a seedling. Perhaps you have come here to be a mighty oak. You have come here to just be, to be light, and to touch the hearts of everyone through just being, through being who you are. For each one is different. And as you are who you are fulfilling your purpose. You cannot be somebody else. You would not want to be. All of the projections, all of the pedestals that people put other people on, all of the comparisons and judgments are so silly, because you are who you are. And the more you accept yourself with love and see your own beauty, the more that beauty can radiate out. And so perhaps we will sit around the tree together. And after we have had our rice and our cooked vegetables, we will answer your questions. Blessings and peace to you all.